And we're back with another episode of Let's Play PC Building Simulator 2. I'm your host, RPG Guy. I had to redo this episode because the power went out. And, yeah, went to shit. So, that did not help me at all. So I had to kind of reload and take a lot of these computers apart and get them kind of figured out again. But, the good news is we're back. And when we last left off, we were going to build a computer here that was of the low tier, low grade variety, specifically one that's using these 1200 slots. We should have two computers like this that we can build that is made of the finest dumpage that we've got, mainly again to get it out of the shop. 550. And then storage, we're just going to use one of these. Again, anything running a Celeron or a Pentium's not worth putting shit in it. So we got our lowest tier card possible. Which is that guy there. That in. And we ain't putting a lot of stuff in this computer, so we could mostly rebuild it here. Processors, that's gone. Alright, and then cooling. As much as it's nice to go low to high, we want to take the most gaudy thing, the biggest, largest one. That just is a big space hog. And get it in there. Memory. Something that's by itself would be preferred. That way, you know. This guy's kind of by himself. The reason being the by themselves is though it's a little better in performance, we can't get much more than 8 gigs out of it without mixing and matching RAM, which I'm trying to avoid doing just because a part of my brain is saying, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. And as it is saying, no, don't do that, I am trying not to do that. And I see my first initial issue. Alright, so we're going to get this one working. Kerblamo. Should have done the lighting first, but oh well. Nope. There we go. See, kids, even just because your computer's bright and glowy doesn't mean that it's really very good. Let's go ahead and run that. So we can get that out there. Let's look at our new stuff here. So, good day, I'm Dr. Ross, Senior Project Lead at Chill Labs. We've recently begun prototype testing for a new kind of directed atomic energy siphon, or freeze ray, as the students of marketing insist on calling it, and requires some assistance. To facilitate optimal testing, the device housing must be kept as cold as possible. Too much heat and the quantum crystals powering the device lose their superpositional state. I'm sure I don't need to tell you how catastrophic that could be. We have an air cooling system integrated into the lab, but the computer used to control the device itself emits enough heat to throw off the balance. Kindly water cool the motherboard and the voltage regulator module with VRM, which I hope will resolve the problem. An all-in-one water block would be preferable to ease the maintenance. Scientifically yours, Dr. Fritz Roast, Chill Labs Incorporated. Okay, so water cooling motherboard VRM. The customer wants you to water cool their motherboard, but for this we'll also need to add a pump, reservoir, and fan. Let's go to the custom water cooling shop and buy the parts we need. All right. So motherboard blocks. This one here. Attach it to that. Pump reservoir. Sure thing. Attach it to that. Radiator. That. Attach it to that. There we go. And we'll get that upon the morrow. There's nothing we can do with it at this exact time. Okay. Exit out of that. Emails. So that's on its way. This is looking a little drab. If you got some orange, I have got to have an orange case to match my room decor. Can you finish blah? I could do with Fall Guys on this PC. Can you handle it, please? I think I could use a scan too. So nothing fancy that we got to do with this one. Straight up. So he wants software and he wants a scan. All right, this one should be done. Nice. We will put it out to be purchased. Whoop. After we put a case model on it. So I might have done this in the last episode. I don't remember. Like I said, this shit did not go too well the last episode as I was trying to get stuff done. All right, so let's get this out here. And this one's a big old piece of shit. It will be known as the Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan ice cream. Let's go with 1100. Ooh. There we go. It's so shitty. Poor Lieutenant Dan. Dude just can't get a break. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and you know what? Before we make it, no, let's make it a brand new day. We'll get more rigs for more parts to do our big rig build off, because that's what's going to be coming up here real soon. Let's grab these parts. So that means that you need to remove the GPU, RAM, CPU, and other parts and cables that connect them. Okay. It'll be good that we're doing this right away. The water cooler motherboard, you need to swap bench type, either move to the workbench or pick up this PC to the bench type. Definitely want this one. CPU and VRM. Let's get that in. And we're probably going to put the rest of this back together, and this will be done. Something's wrong. And this one be done. Alright. He wanted software, I think, and we had to check it for prawn, amongst the other things, if I'm not mistaken. Fall Guys and Scan. So, Scan. We'll put Fall Guys on. So much prawn. Clean files. And she's done. Then we'll go ahead and get this guy out of here. But we're not done yet because we needed to paint the case orange. That's the only way to get it all the way there. Alright, let's make a save before we turn this in. This shenanigans in. Nice. Orange Kiss is great in my room. Also, they installed Fall Guys on my PC, which is a plus. And there's our first big water one done. We've got some new pots. Sweet. And we got that. Paint case black ply stickers. Place motherboard. Probably some extra stuff too. GPU tuner application unlocked. Yes. So now we do even more. And that's no joke. GPU tuning is going to be really big to do on our high budget PC rebuilds, as well as to do on any computer that kind of requires it. So yeah. So before we get started with anything, let's take these guys apart in their entirety. And then we'll start rebuilding because we're short a few PCs here. And what I'm thinking is we're just going to make 2 stinkers, I think, again. We're not going to rebuild everything. And the reason for that really is I want to try to accumulate parts in a big way. So maybe one episode or even 2 back-to-back, we could just rebuild like an epic supply of rigs. But if we start slowing down into an area where all we have are really fancy parts, that changes things, don't it? But I'm not going to worry about that till we get there. And we don't know what parts we actually fully have. I'm going to leave the fans in the case. No reason to constantly take everything out. So here's a crappy Celeron. Again, we're looking for crap right now because we're not hurting for cash, right? We're not losing so little. We you know, we're not in an abysmal state with our money. So as long as we have cash to spend, we can wait it out until we get kind of low. I would say 10,000, maybe. I'm gonna make sure. I think we have all the upgrades. Part of me thinks that we don't, because some stuff's not auto plugging in. So I'm wondering, did I miss an upgrade somewhere? So we will check that out before long. All right. One more to go. Oh, got one of these. And it's decked out. With probably 2 broken video cards just so they control me further. But we got an upgraded heatsink. Probably leave this case out. This is one I'm going to want to do right away because I don't like these cases per se. Even though they're supposed to be pretty good, I don't like them. No, sure, I don't like it. Motherboard. Well, we got a lot of shitters, don't we? Should probably look to see if there was a mini in there. Oh well. Low to high. So we got 4 of those at 2,400. 4 of those at that. 3 of those at 3,000. We only got one of these at 2933, so we'll use that because we only got 1 card. Going for the clunkiest thing to put in there. I also hate those too, so since I hate these, that goes in. Makes my job easy, don't it? I just fucking am full of hate for specific pieces of shit. So, strangely enough, we don't have a lot. But we have this, so we'll start with this. Terabyter. Power supply. Wow, we actually have some moderately decent power supplies. Some that are just strangely cheap for some reason. Boom. Let's do GPU tuner. No, wait, not with that. It's too... Nah, fuck it. GPU tuner. Play with it. I usually don't do this on power supplies that are under... I would say a good rule of thumb is to not bother with the GPU tuner on a power supply that is under 750 watts. So really, I'm not going to actually do it. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. There's no point. You might get a little bit of better performance, but it's mostly going to be kind of a waste of your time for the extra 30 bucks you're probably going to get. 50 bucks even. So I don't recommend doing that. And I'm not saying this as an aficionado of this particular game. I'm just saying as a general rule of thumb, my understanding is that it makes sense to do it on rigs that have very high performance stuff in it, specifically in the video card range. That machine doesn't have a good video card in it anyway. So any upgrade you would think it would have would be pretty lame. Just saying. So we'll build one more heap. Storage. Oh my god. TV's in here. Yeah. Graphics. 580. So I don't have a twin of that, and you're telling me this is not as good as that. All right, sold. Memory. We're looking for an odd number or just an odd one out. This guy's odd one out for sure. And this will be the last of our trash processors that we can really put in. Again, no reason to upgrade the performance on this. The power supply is not really going to allow for it. So we're just going to set this to whatever we need to get some extra performance, or the few extra bucks that we get. This guy's done. And I know some of you would like, you could max out everything. And yeah, I totally could. It just doesn't seem like a thing worth the effort. Heap. Oh, heap. You know, we're still not at a point of the game where I would argue, we're not at a point of the game where we're going to max out every element perfectly. So until we even get to that point, there's no point in putting in metric tons of effort, right? So like I said, we're going to stagger this until until we have no more crappy computers to build, most likely, as well as this. If that whole setup goes, then we'll do a big build off, because we got lots of cases, not hurting for parts, plenty of processors, which I should really go through and get rid of what's broken. Looks like it's good, actually. Here, so let's take a look here. Customize. Hello. Are you there? Do I wait for a reply? I have no idea to use this. I'll just type in here. My son Dylan, do you know him? Well, he's gone on holiday with his mates. I went to his room, and my goodness, it was a mess. His computer looks like it's been kicked around in the street, too. So I thought, while he was away, I would clean up his room, splash a bit of paint here and there, and clean up his computer. Can you spray the case black so it looks shiny and new? Just plain black, and put a big heart sticker on the front so he knows it's from his mom. A nice heart emoji, please, not just any heart. Okay. I hope that's possible. I'm sure he'll love it. Thank you. Send it. I probably need to click that button. Okay, pretty straightforward. This is embarrassing, but I need something repaired. Let's just say a cup of soup and computers don't mix. I need it before blah, 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 blah. I think Peely and Friends stickers would look cool on my PC. Can you do that? I've never cleaned it out. Is that okay? So we'll accept this. It's our motherboard replacement. So it's a Z390 Pro 4. So we could do Z390 Pro 4. Where's the motherboards here? Z390 Pro 4. Ooh, which one? And is there looks like there's no difference. Okay, hold on. Should have just done that. Boom. Confirm. Conform. And then we will buy it now, because the rest of it's going to be rather trivial. So, phone's like exploding. It's not work related quite, but it's practically is. Okay. You're done. Get this out of the shop. Everything part-wise should be on its way, so that's good. Oh, I didn't put a skin on that. Sergeant Dan. There's no skin on this, is there? That's not acceptable. $50 to just walk here and put a skin on. You know what? And we'll put Private Dan. I'll just leave it alone. But it really builds up that resale value, doesn't it? There we go. All right. Make sure, yeah, nothing's in the bag. This is on its way. Okay, let's make it a brand new day. A brand new day. We'll knock these two computers out. See what's sold. So we only may need to build 2. Oh, we sold 3. Nice. Sergeant Dan and the Lieutenant Dan sold very nicely. So we have room for 3. We're gonna buy. We can get out of that. All right. Customize. Paint black. We gotta probably clean it out. I don't think that's what your son wants, but I'm not gonna complain here. Didn't it need a cleaning? No. Oh, cleaning and heart stickers. Got it. Paint case black and apply stickers. Kid's gonna be so fucking pissed. And then stickers, emojis. She wants the emoji heart symbol. The kid's gonna flip his shit when he sees this. Alright. And this one is replace motherboard. It needs a virus scan, I think, too. No, wait a minute. New motherboard. I think peeling fresh will look great on PC. I've never cleaned it out. Is that okay? Okay, so before we even bother cleaning the sucker out, and let's replace the motherboard. Doesn't seem like there's a benefit for making it in a certain pattern, so I'm not going to do that anymore. For anybody wondering. Not really much of a point. Not everything's auto-connecting. Oh. Let that boot up. Yeah, we own all the power-ups. Yeah, it's not done yet. He wants some kind of stupid-ass sticker. So, Peely and Friends. What the fuck is Peely and Friends? Ah, okay. Just get this thing the hell out of my goddamn shop. Grab these guys. Mainly to pull apart. Let's make a save. Let me make sure all my power-ups are on. Because I think they are... Yeah, they're all toggled on, so for some reason it's either glitching or it's not a perfect kind of configuration. So we turn that one in. And yeah, the new motherboard is working well and I couldn't be happier. That's right, because I am fucking amazing. Okay, PC status. Don't need that. Alright. Nothing in the shop here, and we are out of PCs pretty much, so next step here, as far as I'm concerned, is that we need to build some new PCs here before we start our next group of jobs, depending. We only have room for 3 on the floor, so I figure now is a better time than any to start looking at builds here. Must be a hard drive somewhere. Probably still going to go for like weaker builds. Mainly to get our old parts out, keep the best stuff possible. Is going to be the motto of this building cycle. Again, it kind of just comes down to making the most out of our later builds and such. By doing that, we get max out our money, and we get rid of old parts we plan on never using. But there it comes to a point where you have to draw a line, because you'll eventually get to like, oh, this part's kind of decent. It's worth a decent amount of money. Don't want to really waste it. You know, and then you have to draw that line. But we need at least 3 computers. But we'll build as many as we can within reason to that. Don't like this case much either. Alright, and I hate it so much I'm actually going to take the one fan I can easily get to out of it. I know it's got more in here, but I'm not going to fight for that. We'll leave that out too. Alright, so let's get started. Whoops. Go to there. Motherboards. What do we got for processors? So we got some Skylake, Coffee Lake dealies here that aren't very good. What do we got here? Broken one of those. No memory. Dual broken cards. That's fine. No broken power supplies. And whatever that. Okay. I guess... We don't have a Skylake, do we? We do not have a Skylake. So the Skylake is just off the roster. We can't do this, use this board right now. So we're going to use this guy instead. Power supply going to be the cheapest / lowest performing one. Strangely enough, we're starting to have problems with that. Again, we're not going to overclock the GPU on this because it's not going to be designed that way. It's hard to find singles anymore. I just have to start doing some shitty doubles. Yeah, well, these are getting better and better as we go on. So we'll put in... Screw it. Let's put in all 4. We got so much memory. Let's put in all 4 sticks. How did 228s get in there? There we go. Cooling. Something large and bulky. Just because. Make sure we're getting 2400. We should be, because you can't really go much higher than that. Don't care about wallpaper. All right. I only care if the game actually cared. All right. Especially when we're building just little dinky machines to get them out of here. All right. Next computer. Kind of like these coal links with the extra fans, so I'm going to keep these. That one's got a lot of fans. Let's get this out. And then low to high. It's probably going to be... We can't do the Sky Lake. I almost want to sell it, but it doesn't make sense to. Let's just get it in there. Cicero. It's a lot of i7s. So we'll use up our i5s for the cheap computers. I think we also have some low performance AMDs, so we'll look at the AMDs as well at some point. I want to get rid of all of my i5s if there are some decent ones actually in there. Only got one of these anyway. I really just don't care at this point. Just get it in there. I know I seem so like nonchalant about that. It's like, dude, you're just throwing stuff in there. I'm trying to make cheapo rig. I don't care exactly what part goes in, especially if I only have one part. That was really fast memory I threw in there, but it was only one stick of 8 gig. There's a bunch of debates on how to handle that kind of a situation. I'm just doing it in the most basic way just to get the computer built without having to dig through menus and stuff. If this was if this was real life, I would be handling this in a very different way than I am now. I'd also be storing things in a much more optimal way. Probably from worst to best, compatible to not compatible. I'd buy a better storage unit in its entirety. So you can, take that into account. I would not be running it the way I'm running it. But because of the nature of what I'm doing, no boot device. No, I put a drive in there, didn't I? I did not. Just by the nature of how I'm doing things. With these builds, it makes sense to me to do it the way I'm doing it. And as I said, once we get to the nice big rigs, we're then going to make a better effort. That'll be the stuff you guys will enjoy the most. You'll get to see me really building some cool stuff. But right now, we're just working with what we got, trying to make ends meet, while keeping the options rather good. Okay, we'll sit on that. Let's take this be quiet, because I hate be quiets. At least so far, I've not liked these particular models. Okay, here's an AM4, which is good. I said I wanted to build one of these next, so we'll take a look finally and see how performance is going with these processors. So the 1600, it's a 6-core, so it's not the worst thing. So here's what we'll do with this guy. Because it's not the worst thing possible. Neither were some of the other processors, honestly, but what we're going to do is we're going to try to do pretty good on it. Let's do these two 2800s at 16 gigs. Yeah. Then storage, we're going to do cheapest solid state with a 2 terabyte in there. I haven't used a 2 terabyte. Save the 3. I'm going to be that stingy. Save the fucking 3. Let's go with a 750 watt. Because I want to put in dual cards, regardless of what they are. And then for cooling, not going to go too crazy. RAM, shabloink. We'll put GPU tuner on this one too, just to start, because we finally did go a little bigger. So lighting first. 3D Mark. And then we'll put this guy in. Let's see how this one's set up in this game, since this is kind of new. Okay. Let it do its thing. And I've got 3 computers to put out, pretty much. This will be the Captain Dan. Yeah, right on the dollar. One will be Private Dan. Let's see how it's getting along here. So that's not too bad. And it didn't overheat or anything like that. So we can remove both of these. This is really overclocked. So let's see what they give us for overclocking here. The only thing is I did turn off the overclock on the CPU. I just want to try the GPU without having to fiddle with this too much. So let's just see what happens when we go to put it out for sale here. This will be the Admiral Dan. So overclocking only got 50, even though we did 2 types of overclocking. But I think we can get away with it because the benchmark score is higher than it would have been normally. So that's why it's not as big of a deal. There we go. So this is our entire Dan line here. With legs and without. Ooh, do. And we've got some new rigs coming in. So, hello again. The first test of the directed atomic energy siphon was a failure, but we must... You know what? I'm going to save this, actually, because we're doing pretty good right now. We're not doing a big build sell-off yet, because I still think we can hold out. We've got 4 new... We're going to be able to afford the next 4 big, next 4 rigs coming in. We've got 2 new jobs to tackle. We're not hurting for anything in particular, so we may as well just let this, run the way it's going. Because, yeah, we've got plenty of parts. plenty of processors. Plenty of that. Actually, strangely enough, we have plenty of motherboards. A smorgasbord of RAM and storage. We're doing pretty good on graphics cards. That probably is going to go first with the power supplies and processors. So what we do, we are making big steps. We have 2 nice processors, 1 nice motherboard, and everything else that we're working on is gradually coming to fruition. Got a lot of fans stocked up for when we want to build the medium to top tier class stuff. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DrStudios for more live gaming action, because when we come back, next episode, we will be working on 2 new jobs. Another one looking like a water cooling job. Water cooled GPU. And then we're going to be doing a build here of some sort. So that'll be fun. The build will be plenty fun. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.